it's Bethany Camille. I know that I've been gone for a very long time. It's been like, what, 5 years since I have made YouTube videos. So much has happened in my life. A lot of really good things and a lot of bad things. And I just needed to like take a break from YouTube. But I am back because I have some major life updates to share with you guys. So yeah, I'm really excited to be back. As you can see from the title of this video, I no longer live in the USA. I live in China. So yeah, I packed up all my things and I got the heck out of America, came to China, and I'm here for work. I work as an ESL teacher. And so yeah, I kind of want to just go over that whole process, my experiences living here, and just answer some questions that you guys might have. And yeah. First thing, why I moved. I lived in San Diego my whole life, and I've always kind of like wanted to live somewhere else. And it was originally going to be me moving to Seattle for a year, but that didn't really work out. So I kind of like turned my eyes towards China. I have 2 cousins who lived in China before. So that's what kind of like piqued my interest because I heard kind of like how it was for them. Yeah, that plus, you know, I think with TikTok and everything, I was starting to see like people posting about how, you know, advanced technologically China is, how safe it is, how affordable it is. And so those are all the things that I wanted. If I was to move abroad, I would want to live in a country that kind of like had really good infrastructure, that was safe, affordable, all those things. So China just kind of like checked the boxes off for me. Literally, I was living with my boyfriend before I came here, and yeah, I've never even been to Asia in my whole life. This is like my first time here, and when I tell you, loving it. I love it here. I actually live in Shanghai, so yeah, I really love it here. I will explain to you guys my entire process of start to finish, what happened, how did we get here. Go ahead and grab your snacks, your tea, your coffee, whatever it is. Go ahead and sit back and relax because I'm gonna try to cram a lot into this video, so yeah. So I want to say it was like November time. I was starting to kind of like look at jobs, and I'm like, dang, like I would love to live in Seattle for a time, but I wasn't really getting like any callbacks. And mind you, I had a job already. Like I was working full time as an office manager. So I was able to save my money. I was living with my boyfriend and he was like paying all the bills, rent. I didn't really have to like pay for anything. That helped me save up money. Okay, so that was number 1. First step is saving your money. If you're looking at moving abroad, then you need to figure out your savings plan. If you want to move to another country very easily and you don't want to have the hassle of trying to compete with really high demand jobs, if you have a bachelor's degree in any subject and you are from an English-speaking country, don't have a criminal record, and you're a healthy individual, then you could teach abroad. You have to have a bachelor's degree, you gotta have a passport, things like that. And so I got all those documents together. That process took a while, but while I was getting my documents together, I enrolled in a 120-hour TEFL course, and I found my course on Groupon. It was only like 20 bucks, and I did that course within like a month. So I did that course over Christmas time. They give you like 6 months to do it, but I just knocked it out. I just wanted to get that out the way. Now, halfway through me finishing the course online, halfway through, I updated my resume, and I said at the bottom of my resume, I was in the process of completing my teaching certificate, like my teaching abroad certificate. And so then I went on these websites. I'll list it here, or I'll list it somewhere. I went on these websites and I started to apply to anything that popped up that was interesting to me, and I wanted it to be in China. And I think I was like looking for teaching jobs for kids, either at elementary or like a training center. And yes, I wanted kids because I'm like a brand new teacher. I've never taught a day in my life, so I'm like, you know, I wanted to keep it easy for me, you know? So halfway through my course, I started to apply to jobs, and literally the next day I was getting callbacks. like, not even callbacks, but I was getting emails. Like, recruiters were emailing me back almost immediately. I was like, wow, okay. They were like, if you want to talk more, you need to download this app called WeChat. So this is WeChat. So I downloaded that app, I made an account, and then I reached out to those recruiters through WeChat. And so I was talking to multiple different recruiters. Now this part was a little tricky because you just want to make sure it's not a scam. But again, I'm like, I don't even really know this app that well. I don't know WeChat that well. So I'm like hoping that, you know, it's legit. Yeah, if they told me, oh, here's a job opening for this, you know, I would go make sure to look it up and see that it's a real business or it's a real school, you know what I mean? The recruiters, they told me, they were like, we need you to send me your intro video where you like speak, you introduce yourself, blah, blah, blah. They just want to hear how you speak. And they wanted me to send my resume, and they wanted me to send like a copy of my, like a picture of my degree, my diploma, my passport photo, and I think that was it. But they just wanted to make sure that I'm like legit me. So I would send that to the recruiters that seem like real people, and then I would wait for a response. And so a lot of them, again, would get back to me pretty quickly. So I guess like being an English teacher in China is like a really good place to start for looking for a job. And so yeah, I got in touch with this one company. I'm not gonna list the name, but they had me do a round of like 3 interviews. Once that was complete, they let me know very quickly that I had the job, like a job offer. So I just had to sign a contract, and it would be for a year in this city. So everything was pretty straightforward in that way. Now, where it got crazy is they were like, okay, now we need you to get your documents together to be able to immigrate here for work. So I'm gonna try to remember everything that they needed me to have. They said, we need your criminal background check. We need your diploma, your TOEFL certificate, like a medical exam. I think it was those 4 things, but if I'm missing something, then I'll like put it in the video. But I needed those documents, and I needed them to be notarized and apostle, okay? So I didn't know what the heck that meant. Like, what does apostle mean? But yeah, it got crazy because for the FBI background check, in order to get that, you have to like go to a place, get your fingerprint scanned, and then they like print out your record. And then you have to mail that to Washington, D.C. And in that, you know, the envelope that you mail it to, you have to put a check for like $20 or something. And you got to put like a return envelope and all of that. So make sure that you get that information so that they can send your FBI background check back to you with an apostle attached. Basically, an apostle is like an extra authentication. Yeah, so that needed to happen. And then my TOEFL certificate and my diploma needed to be notarized. So I had to go to my city, like I lived in San Diego, so the San Diego County office or whatever. I had to go there, I think, to get it authenticated, the documents authenticated. But here's where things got messed up. The notaries that I went to, they screwed up. Both of them screwed up. And so that kind of like made things really hectic. There were so many points in this process where I was like on the brink of like wanting to give up, but I just didn't. But like it was just unnecessarily difficult. And then with my medical exam, that was really difficult because in order to immigrate to China, you need to do their specific medical exam, like a physical exam that they provide the form, the Chinese government. So like you can find this form online. You have to print that out. You need it to bring it to a like physician, like an actual doctor. It cannot be performed by a nurse. It has to be a doctor at a hospital. And they have to do this exam for you. And for me, it was almost impossible finding a doctor in San Diego that would be willing to do it for me. Like I went everywhere. I was turned away by multiple doctors. Even my own primary care doctor turned me away. They were like, we don't do those kinds of exams. So it was really hard, but literally my last resort hospital, they did it for me and they charged me $500. So yeah. This whole process, it took several months. It took some time. You know, the government is slow as hell. They're very slow. And there was just, when I tell you, it was so difficult, like that whole process of getting my documents together. Just be prepared for the most ghetto experience. Like that was mine. Like it was not straightforward at all. It felt like I was on a wild goose chase the entire time. So if I have any advice to give you, if you know that you want to like move abroad, and especially you want to move to a country like China where they're very strict about certain things, make sure that you utilize your resources, okay? Whatever that is, and get the information that you need, double check certain things, and then kind of like have a list of things that you need. Now, I was able to move here within like 4 months-ish. So it's definitely possible. Like you can move to China very quickly, but you kind of have to be on your A game. So yeah, and the company that I work for, they were like, okay, this is when you're gonna come out. Now, I just bought a one-way ticket to China, and my ticket was only like $600. I flew out of LAX and it was fine. It wasn't that expensive. So yeah, I think I lucked out. Like China is very, very affordable. They have taxis and they also have like their version of Uber, which is called Didi. My Didi rides are usually like less than $4, you know, maybe like $2, $1. Like it's very, very cheap. The food is very, very cheap. Whole meals are less than like $5. I typically will spend about $3 on a meal, and they give you massive portions that you can just like split it in half, and you can have one portion for lunch, the other for dinner, or however way you want to mix it up. That's really, really good. Now, I live in Shanghai, which is considered like the New York of China. It's probably the most expensive part of China, but it's beautiful. I love this city. I'm so glad that I chose Shanghai. Like I'm so glad. I was in Beijing for a little bit. Loved Beijing. Very green, very clean. But Shanghai to me is more like international friendly. Like you see more international people, and the vibe here, it gives you the vibe of like New York, like a cleaner, safer version of New York with a mix of New Orleans. So there's like a lot of French architecture, and I just love it. Like I love this place. And you guys will see like in the videos that will be coming, I'll be showing you kind of like around this, you know, around town. So, and I'm obviously leaving some things out. So if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments and I'll like either respond or I'll make another video. Okay, another thing. So I have a TikTok now. Well, I've been having a TikTok, but I've been posting on TikTok. And someone had asked me a question about my apartment. This is how it is here. They don't, from my understanding, they don't pay, like you don't pay rent monthly, you pay it quarterly. If you're gonna come out here and rent an apartment on your own, you need to have like 3 months of rent saved up so that you can put that down. And then like plus a deposit. So like you need to have at least that much money saved up. Now, in my situation, with my job here, I had the option of having my job pay for my apartment. They would just basically put down the deposit and then they would gradually deduct it from my paycheck. And I also have it so that my job kind of like just pays my rent for me. Like they just automatically deduct it from my paycheck, so I don't really have to worry about that. And they said like for my first year, this is how they're gonna do it, and then like next year I'll have to do it on my own. I don't plan on staying here longer than a year. So, but there's plenty of people who come here and then they never leave, you know, and it's very, to me, it's very easy to see why someone would not want to leave, because it's like amazing. I would say the biggest struggle that I faced is the language barrier. I've never been to Japan or Korea, but from what I've heard, China is not as foreigner friendly. It's not like, they don't really cater to foreigners like that, meaning there's not a whole lot that is in English. Even the apps that you use, the apps that you need to survive here, most of them are in Chinese, and they have like the Chinese characters. And if you don't know that, good luck. I have literally, I would screenshot something and then do the translation. Like everything has to be translated. Also, when I came out here, my job, they made me get a new phone, like you need a Chinese number. That's because I have an iPhone and like there's no SIM card to remove, and so like anyways, I needed to get a Chinese phone. So there's just like things like that. But I will say the people are so friendly. Like, yes, you do get stares, but I mean, I've been getting stares my whole life, and so I'm not really like, it doesn't bother me that much. But yeah, they do kind of stare, but then they kind of like look away. I haven't had any rude encounters. I think only a few people have asked to take a picture with me, but other than that, everyone's been super kind, super friendly, very respectful culture. And I just find that if you have a positive attitude, you have a smile on your face, you look warm and approachable, people will respond to that in a positive way. But if you have like a gloomy expression, if you look angry or upset or just like very serious, people are gonna kind of like respond accordingly. So I just think that if you just have like a neutral or like a good vibe about you, chances are you're gonna have a good, like a better experience with the people. And I'll say, living here, I've never been in a city that has felt so safe in my life. Like, you can leave your bags or your purse and no one's gonna steal from you, no one's gonna rob you. It's like another level of safety. There's cameras everywhere, which I actually really like because people just act right. Like, you don't have to worry about getting harassed because there's literally a camera that's like watching the street. So it's like, if something was to happen to you, they got it on camera, and they don't play around here. So it's like, I feel incredibly safe. I don't mind the cameras because I'm not a criminal. So it's like, I'm just out here existing, doing my own thing. I will say though, if you're someone who smokes weed, if you do drugs and all that, don't even bother coming here, because that's not even acceptable. Like, if you have severe addictions, don't even come here, because again, this city is safe, and I think they want to keep it, or this country, like, they want to keep it safe. So they don't want no negative vibes over here. You know what I mean? If you got any issues, leave that at home. But yeah, I can definitely go into more detail in another video. I don't want to make this video too long, so if you guys have any questions that you might have, you can just drop them below in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, I can't wait to hear from you guys. It's been so long since I've been on YouTube, but I'm really excited to kind of like film more content. I'm also going to be filming hair content. As you can see, I bleached my hair and it's thriving. I used to have locks and I combed them out several years ago, and I've been growing my hair out since. So I'm definitely going to be giving you guys some updated hair content and maybe a little bit of vlogs. So y'all just let me know, like, what do you want to see? I will make a video about it. But yeah, I'm really excited to be back, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye, you guys.